Hello, we're on to part 3 of Act 1. This is a part of the story where we see the struggle, the power imbalance between the main character Ruth taking the call to adventure and the antagonist or the opponent at this point, who is Naomi, opposing, putting up lots of good reasons for her not to take that call adventure. So this part of the story is verses 11 to 15 of chapter 1 of Ruth. And we see a lot of common conventions that we see in stories when there is that struggle, especially if the struggle is coming from an external antagonist rather than from an internal indecision. So here Ruth is decided. She knows she wants to go, but from an external perspective, Naomi is opposing her decision and trying to dissuade her from that. So when there's an external opponent opposing the main character taking up that call to adventure, that will lead them to a point where they can have some character changes happening so that they can fight that story problem. And here the story problem is that the line of Naomi needs to continue and become the kingly line. When that happens, normally there is a power imbalance. So we have, in this case, Naomi has more power than Ruth. So Naomi has more authority to decide, so both as a mother-in-law and as an Israelite, she has more authority to make that decision about whether Ruth comes or not. And we also have here some compelling reasons not to answer the call. So in this part of the story, Naomi lays out her compelling argument that she says, "Why would you come to me? Am I going to have any more sons who could become your husbands?" So she frees them from that marriage contract because they are foreigners, and because she's not in a position to provide for them, to provide husbands for them. She says, "I am too old to have another husband, and even if I thought there was still hope for me, even if I had a husband tonight and then gave birth to sons, would you wait until they grew up? Would you remain unmarried for them? No, my daughters, it is more bitter for me than for you, because the Lord's hand has gone out against me." Naomi has given up on the possibility of her ever having descendants, and she doesn't want to drag her children, her daughters-in-law, into that bitterness with her. So she compels them to stay, to go back to Moab, to go back to their families of origin, to find husbands in their own land. And so that is the explicit opposition. The implicit, there is an implicit reason to stay as well, and that is in Orpah's example. So Orpah, as we mentioned in the last video, decides to stay, and this shows that it is a good option. And Ruth could very easily follow Orpah's suit. She has nobody who is supporting her decision to go. There are no good reasons, logically speaking, for her to go with Naomi. The reasons that Ruth has for going are reasons of faith, and they are because she wants to be part of Naomi's people, and she wants to be ruled by Naomi's God. They are the only reasons that Ruth stays. It is for loyalty to Naomi, to her people, and to Naomi's God. So we see, but we'll see that in the next chapter. So this is a very short video, but let's dive into chapter 4, part 4, of Act 1.